Once you've set up your gradebook, it's now time to add tasks and enter some marks. So I'm going to select Gradebook, and I'm going to choose my class. I have one unit and then 3 different categories, and you select your Add Task button up here. The unit name is where we're adding our task, and you must also select the category name. So I had daily work, exams, or final. So I'm just going to leave it at daily work, and we'll call this one quiz number 1. The shorter the name, the better, because when you see the overall look of the task grid, it can also wrap and it will cut things off, and also when it prints out reports too, that might cause you some issues. The due date is a good thing to do, again, for reporting purposes when you do print out reports. And I did that on Friday, September 10th. The grade type is numeric, alpha, or both. For right now, I will leave it at numeric. Alpha is when you're getting into the M, A, B's, and E's. And I'll put that out of 10. I wouldn't do anything with the allow extra grades or extra credit type. That actually may be removed in future versions of Teacher Logic. This is for people that are using Home Logic, and again, that's the piece that takes this information and transfers it into a program called Home Logic so that parents can see what's going on within the classes. Assign global grade. If you have a task that most students end up with the same mark, you can assign a global grade. So if most students usually get 10 out of 10 on this task, you can put in 10 and then change the ones that didn't get that. On the right hand side, this again is mostly for Home Logic use, so I would leave that alone unless you are using Home Logic. And as always, you need to click Submit. If you click on this, that brings up your editing task, so if you entered something incorrectly, you can change it there as well. I'm going to hit Close. On the top right, there's a button called Task Grid, and it looks like that. If you click on it, you come up with your spreadsheet. The names are on the left. The number in the middle, those are their absences in the class, and then this is their overall grade once you get some tasks entered. Once you come in here, this is your spreadsheet, and each one of these are clickable. So if I click on the first student and I say they got an 8, under the task notes you can enter some information that will either apply to that specific student or to the entire class. And that's useful for reporting purposes so that you can keep track of some of the tasks and some of the notes that come up during your daily assignments. And as always, click on Submit and it will enter into my spreadsheet. Now that would take some time in order to enter each one of those individually. So if you look at the word grade and you click on the word grade, it comes up with a much faster way to do this. So if you can enter these, you can hit return on your numeric keypad or the down arrow. Under grade status, this again will probably look different in the final version, and so ignore what doesn't look exactly the same when you see it on your system. AB stands for absent, excused, and incomplete. So that may help you look at a large portion of marks to know that you are expecting to have something handed in from that student. Also in here as well, you can click on the note, and that will apply either to that, if you click on Apply to Class, or just to that individual student, and then you can hit Submit. Up at the top right, there's this printable page, which then takes all those marks. It gives you a nice printout of that particular task. At the very bottom, you also need to click Submit once you've finished entering those marks. Notice over here, the overall grade still says 0, even though I've entered marks for one task. At the bottom, there's the Calculate button, and you need to hit that before it will calculate the marks. It asks if you want to do it for all task grades or from a certain point, and I'm just going to say all task grades and calculate. And notice that it gave us an overall grade as well. If you are using a gradebook, it will transfer those marks into period grades if you're not on the outcome-based system. Also in here, I can add a task as well. Or if I've made any errors, I can also click on the actual task and then change what needs to be changed, and then make sure that you hit Submit. I've added a few more tasks, and I just wanted to show you what happens when you click on grades. This is just another way to enter a particular student's marks or change any tasks. If you have any questions, please contact your instructional technology consultant.